SCHMOOSIC.
Hello and welcome back to our show.
I'm filling for Hayden. I'm not actually Hayden. My name is Gavin.
Yeah, we've got Gavin for a whole hour this week. Hayden was not feeling up for recording. And as you probably heard for an hour before this, of me just talking about anything, I think I talked about the perfect processed sandwich, as a kid.
What did that entail?
White bread, mayonnaise, yellow mustard, bologna, American cheese.
That's the dream sandwich
That's like
for you.
No, that's
as a kid?
as like a kid, that's like the most, that is like the sandwich that you get for like lunch.
My favorite sandwich as a kid,
You can tilt it up.
it was
fine.
just pepperonis on it.
I do remember that. Also, you can like move the mic itself. It's in a little here.
Oh, I see. Oh, this is much better.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm sitting at a comfortable angle.
Yeah.
Okay, but I would just take pepperoni sandwiches to school, and then John would watch me eat them, and he would be like, "How are you not fat?"
John would say that to you.
Yeah, that was what he asked.
What?
Because I would bring like 2 bags of Cool Ranch Doritos and a pepperoni sandwich, and I would just eat that.
That's not something that would get you fat. That's like starving yourself food.
That is true.
Bread and the smallest meat possible and chips. That was your lunch?
Yeah.
I remember the few times you packed a lunch in middle school. It was pepperoni sandwiches. Oh my god. This fucking cat.
I didn't learn to like food for a while. It would just be like the
Yeah.
easiest thing to eat.
And that's fine. I mean, I have the affinity for the white bread, mayonnaise, yellow mustard, American cheese, bologna sandwich.
It was always so sour to me. I'm not sure why.
I mean, probably because it's just like chemicals.
I would because I remember it was like water skiing. My friend took me water skiing in like the 5th grade, and I think
Why?
I fell on my head trying to do it, so I just had this like splintering headache for like half of it.
That sounds like a great trip.
But yeah, I think that they packed like the bologna mustard.
Yeah.
And I like bit into one, and I was like, "What is this?" And I just
Well, I guess this is, I mean, we're supposed to have Hayden here, but we still have one of us. And so I guess I'll just ask you, what have you been consuming this week?
I think it's mostly just come down to trying to come up with usually I just join a Discord and someone is making something, so I'll just get on it, or I'll just sit in my room and then I'll make a beat and then I'll write lyrics for it, or I'll try to freestyle and mess with the auto-tune until it sounds cool, and then I'm like, all right, awesome.
It's very good. Have you been listening to any music?
No, not really, honestly.
Dang, for real? Oh, I need to give you those headphones. I
That
have
is
those
true.
earbuds for you.
No, I mostly just listen to Benny Revival. That's been the only thing I really listened to recently.
Yeah, I pretty much covered all of, I mean, I'll still talk about it, because I'm probably just gonna, my 1 hour long, just tired rambling, I'll probably just upload as its own separate video.
No, yeah, that was what I thought you were gonna do.
Yeah.
Anyways.
because the schedule is Wednesday, either after work or whenever both of us are free. And I got home from work, and only one of us was free, so. And now there's two of us. But I've been listening to. Oh fuck! I don't have my phone. Whatever. What have I been listening to? Nothing much, honestly. Just a playlist that I made, which has a lot of stuff on it.
That's what I've been. That's one of those like things that's always on the back burner for me, because I know it's a necessity to even like be able to process all the shit that I like constantly. But I never do, and instead I just like fixate on like a one song or something.
I mean, I think that's most people.
Yeah, exactly.
I would assume so, at least.
I just kind of like look on my SoundCloud stream. I need to talk about some of the weird trends I've been noticing there. It's like,
oh yeah, go for it.
when I go on the SoundCloud stream, I would like to divide the types of music I hear through like two. It seems like it's like just splintering. It's like deconstructive art and then reconstructive art. And like the deconstructive art is the stuff that keeps taking the SoundCloud formula and like trying to remove or try to make like less of it. Like I hear people literally put like a fourth of a beat in a song. It's as if they made the whole beat and then they just like split it and then they just looped one part and then they're just like barely even rapping over it. They're just like I don't even want to say mumble rap, but it's like trying to be as little as possible, and I don't really know why it wants to be. It's a weird dichotomy, because it has like a futuristic quality in being so stripped back, but at the same time, like what you're really left with is like something that will just like drive you insane to listen to. Like
yeah, I mean, I feel like at some point there's just gonna be like, I forget what the name is, but it's like the genre at least. There's gonna be like this like weird subsect of people are just gonna turn into like micro sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Artists.
Like, and that's like a huge thing I feel like I've been noticing. It's just less and less and less.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's getting to so little that it's turning into way too much. That's the only way I could really describe the things I hear. And like the cat is fucking...
The cat is licking the moisture off the soda can.
She started licking my pinky.
I gave her water and food.
Yeah, she's just a cute little critter.
Yeah, I talked plenty about her on my my solo episode.
She's always a delight, even if hell spawn occasionally.
That's true. But yeah, I think a lot of those people are gonna just turn into micro sound.
That's cool.
Or like not those people, but definitely like their offshoots. There's probably gonna be some really fucking weird, like crazy minimal shit.
It's gonna be like people are just making like straight up glitch music, and not like glitch core, like not even close. It will literally be like the weirdest time signatures of just like fractured rapping over. It'll be like beep boop boop boop.
Yeah,
boop,
but
boop, boop.
Like, not to insult those people,
no,
but are they
it's
talented enough to do that?
This is literally just the natural progression of sound as we know it. And like, in some ways I look at it and I'm just so, I want to almost vomit. It's so, like, I don't know. Like, it's kind of weird to coexist in a world where you have music from decades ago where it wasn't even possible to make this noise, to like now, and like it makes me really confused on how to listen to a lot of stuff. It's almost like this like weird future music is like it almost like makes it hard to listen to old stuff for me.
Like,
which
what do you
I
mean old
dislike.
stuff?
It's like I used to be able to really tolerate things that sounded like oh, what is that? Like lo-fi band. He was like extremely prolific or something.
Elliott Smith?
No, not that guy. It was just like they I didn't even listen to
It's
most
a
of the
lo-fi guy?
yeah
Like
from like the
lo-
80s and 90s.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow, that probably embodies at least like 5,000 people. But
I'm trying to think of like someone other than like Elliott Smith.
I guess what I'm trying to say is like the kind of like just getting by on its like rawness alone things of like 30 years ago are basically like unlistenable to me now, because the raw things that don't have much like work put into them but have like the swag of sounding like that, it's just evolved to sound so much better. And so like all that really exists in like older music is just because like I used to be able to sit through like hours of like stupid noise rock garbage, like noise core,
Yeah.
like terrible sludge metal, terrible weird combinations of noise rock and sludge metal. And I'm just like, this all, and like new shoegaze, like post Loveless shoegaze. It's just like, oh my gosh, stop making music.
I mean, yeah, I feel like I'm really into shoegaze, but I can't name any band that I'm like, oh, I like them a lot.
Exactly. It's like
I like My Bloody Valentine and I like Kraus.
exactly.
And I guess, I mean, does Slow Dive fall into that, or do they fall into more dream pop?
I would say that they're probably like shoegaze to the core.
Shoegaze? Okay.
Just like not in the same way where My Bloody Valentine is like assaulting you with it. Slow Dive tries to work it into something like
Oh, more of like an accessible,
yeah, just
Okay.
like not freaking people out to listen to.
Yeah.
See, I think that a lot of the songs on Loveless are just so cool. It's like, wow, there's this like cool drum pattern and like this thing that sounds like literally the color blue is talking to me. It's like a floating orb is singing to me.
For the people who could possibly listen to this that are like actually there's this band that has 500 fucking listeners worldwide from the fucking like 90s. Fuck off. Jesus Christ. Stop it. Anyways, I don't think. Okay, you're pushing it.
Yeah, she might actually interfere too much.
She is pushing it. Anyway, I feel like My Bloody Valentine, especially like with Loveless, did have they like created it and did the most with it, and then everyone tried to use it and couldn't.
I think that's why the story of that album is eternal, is because it's going to be the only shot something like that ever has to come into fruition like that. To have that much level of detail, to have that much level of scrutiny, and just like Kevin Shields eating in an office and then making sound all day. Like that's a once in a generation kind of thing.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I guess, and that's why like it coexists with its story. And I think it's kind of like what makes me sad is I feel like the culmination around that album is that story. It's not actually like the album.
The album,
which confused me at first, because I was like, why does everyone hate this album? Like because I didn't know what My Bloody Valentine was when I first heard that album. I was just like, oh, Pink album that says it's noisy, okay, I'm gonna listen to it, and then I would just like the songs.
I remember you told me, it's in like the 8th grade or something. You were like, My Bloody Valentine is actually pretty good, and then I mistook that for Bullet for My Valentine.
Yeah.
And I was like,
this guy has fallen off.
I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that was like...
I was like, what direction are we turning?
That was... Okay. I'll say the first question I want to ask. What do you think about Isn't Anything? Because I think that album sucks.
I remember trying to listen to it, and I was just bored.
I think that is probably the best way to put it. Because it was like... It had a lot of similar ideas, but... half the attempts at like trying to branch out just didn't really work, and then like the songs that tried to do what Loveless do just sounded really bad.
On what?
On Isn't Anything, which the studio album before Loveless, not the EPs or anything.
My fucking bad. I thought you were talking about that one.
Oh, the Slow Dive.
No. Because we were talking about Bullet for My Valentine.
Oh no.
And I thought you were talking about that Isn't Anything album, I think is their name. And it's like Is a Real Boy.
Oh, that album?
Like pop punk, emo album.
The $10 album.
Yeah.
I
thought you were talking about that.
All right, we'll cut that part for Robin. But yeah.
But I mean, still.
No, seriously.
With that one.
Yeah.
I remember listening to it and not understanding what the hype was about. And Isn't Anything... I remember you sending it to me and being like, this is the worst music I've ever heard.
Because the first song was so weird. It was like if you took a drum machine and you just like, you didn't even choose the presets. It was like the stock sounds, and you just made like a little dance rhythm. And then like he's trying to do like the weird like whammy bar dissonance, but it just sounds like... It sounds like an out-of-tune trumpet just going like wah, wah, wah. And then like Kevin Shields comes on the song with like barely any effects on his voice, and he's like, soft as snow but warm inside. I mean, I like the song now because like, but when I first heard it...
It's a pretty cool song.
Because when I first heard it, I came from hearing Loveless, and I was like, this is the same band... And like I had heard the EPs before it too, and I was like, "Oh, those are awesome."
I remember when I worked at Home Goods, this guy Avery had just started, and I remember I was like, "What music do you like?" He's like, "Oh, I like alternative rock and stuff like that." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Do you like My Bloody Valentine?" He's like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll show you something. Do you like so you're into like Smashing Pumpkins and stuff?" And he was like, "No, I don't listen to them." I was like, "Well, what do you listen to?" Because he told me like alternative rock and alternative music, and I was like, "Okay, that's cool." And he like didn't pin me as someone who would like stuff like that, but I was like, maybe, like probably. I mean, not that My Bloody Valentine or Smashing Pumpkins or anything like that no one can get into, and it's like a niche, but and then I was like, "Oh, well, I'll show it to you. You'll like probably like it." So I played cuz I was listening to the one EP with the girl on it. It's in black and white. I forgot what it's called.
You Made Me Realize?
Yeah, You Made Me Realize. I was listening to that, and I put on Slow.
Yeah.
And we listened to it, and he was like, "Yeah, that was pretty good. Wait, let me play some of my stuff." And then he put on, like, the 1975. And I was like, what happened?
There are very different definitions of alternative.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, now there are some, like, I mean, there's fucking whatever. There's like one 1975 song that is actually pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, like,
And I remember just thinking they were like, for the longest time, just being like, no, that's just like complete fucking garbage. But I mean, it's not even that bad, especially for like an indie girl like sort of band.
yeah, I definitely overhated it because it was as I defined girlfriend music.
Oh yeah.
So like that put me off for a while, but if I was to go back, I probably would be like, oh, this is a solid set of like pop music.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Like it's just
I think they're way overhated.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just like as soon as you are there, it's just like, oh, you're just gonna have haters.
Yeah, and I mean at the time, even when he did like put it on, I wasn't like judging him, but I was like, okay, so our definitions of alternative are very different.
Yeah, like I think ours comes down to like this like music writing definition, and his comes down to kind of like how the radio has progressed alternative into.
Yeah.
I mean, like, alternative rock basically was just alternative pop music, but it was, like, alternative pop music in a time where rock was still, like, huge on the radio.
Yeah. Which, I mean, when did Siamese Dream come out? 93?
93, yeah.
93? That's crazy.
What an amazing album. I was just about to say, like, I still love that album.
That album is still so good.
Just, like, that just can't be touched once you make that.
And which is really weird because our friend Lynn hates that album.
Why is that? Why did they not like it?
I don't know why.
Have they ever said any reasons as to why that is?
Not really. I was just like, how do you hate that album?
I always just thought that the singing was really nice, and I thought
Yeah.
the songwriting was really great. I think like the experimentation.
It's pretty funny that like Mayonnaise is like placed as like one of their like best written songs, and like Billy Corgan didn't even write it.
Wait, which song?
Mayonnaise. James Iha wrote that one.
I feel like I read something about that.
Yeah, and Billy Corgan always gets like, he's always like, whenever someone talks about Mayonnaise, because it's like he didn't write that one, and that's the one that's cited as like one of their best written. Which
that song is awesome.
And then I tried. I like Siamese Dream, and I like Gish.
Yeah, Gish is good.
Gish is cool.
Gish is just like the cool album where like the songwriting doesn't really like. It's not really like developed enough, but they still have like a really good sound, and obviously they have a really good set of songs.
Yeah, I mean,
there's like less standout, I guess.
Yeah, it's more of the same.
But like it's still a really good effort.
Do not jump. Do not jump on the laptop. Jump on the laptop. Prices to pay. Anyway, I'm trying to think of some of the like standout. That one is much more of like a standard alt rock album.
Yeah, grunge.
And then, yeah. And then Simon's Dream is like
the way more developed, way more diverse.
Yeah.
I think it's just like way more realized in every way.
And then
like somehow like the hits of that album are just as good as like everything else.
Yeah, they're
and like still probably the best songs on it.
It's an album of all hits.
And like
the only one I don't like, where I'm like, it kind of loses me, is Soma, but
yeah, I agree. Like I think the
it's
longer
too
cuts, the longer cuts just don't really work for me.
But I mean, that's because there's that other really long song on there. I forgot what it's called.
Something USA.
No, not Geek USA. It's towards like the very end. It has like of hold on, I'm gonna look up the track list here.
I like Space Boy a lot. I think that's a beautiful song. Okay, I shed so many tears to Space Boys. Like, if I ever needed to cry, I would play that song.
I was thinking of Silver Fuck.
Oh yeah, like the noisy one.
That one is cool, but here we'll just go down the album. Like,
Okay,
fuck it.
okay.
We got Cherub Rock.
Awesome, amazing.
What the hell is your problem? What is your deal?
Probably one of the coolest songs to ever be on the
This
radio.
You can't do this. What is this?
She's vengeful for getting her genitals removed.
Yeah, I know. She's going fucking ape shit. More than normal. Cherub Rock is very cool. Quiet.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah, that one. It's cool. It's like a cool, like it sounds very interesting compared to the rest of the album.
Yeah, it's like it. Quiet reminds me of like don't. Okay, thank you. Quiet reminds me of like if you took something that was. It feels like they finished Gish, and then like Quiet was like one that they like wrote right after.
Yeah, like the transition.
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
one of the first songs to be written for the album.
Which probably isn't true, but
Who knows?
Today,
Oh, like probably my favorite song.
probably
on the
one of the
album.
best ones.
Like
no,
that-
because I put Today along with like most of the album. Like I think I'm like, oh, that's my favorite one, and then the next track, Hummer, and then I'm like,
Okay,
wait, no, that's
okay,
my favorite one.
That is a difficult tie because I really like the both of those songs.
Yeah, but then after that, there's Rocket. Do you see what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it just like each one is like, it's like, oh, I like that one. That's my favorite one actually. And then Disarm. And it's like, oh wait, that one's good too.
Disarm is very good.
Soma is my least favorite though. On the whole album. I think Soma is my least favorite. And
All the long songs just kind of bleed into each other for me.
yeah, but
Like-
Soma is like different because it has that like slow start and it's just kind of slow for the whole thing except for the end. But with like Geek USA, there's like
Yeah, it starts
It's-
out really
it changes.
fast. Yeah.
it like comes back around. Many a memory on the high school bus listening to Mayonnaise.
Oh yes. Oh, that was like my everything song for a while.
Yeah.
That and Today though, that's why I really am like standing by my pick for Today as my favorite because like I don't know, Today was just like my existence song for a
Today is
while.
very good. And like listening to that because I listened to the album driving back from Maryland, and I remember I was like, because I was like, how is this song about suicide? I was like, there's no way. And then I mean, I had read the lyrics and everything, and I was just like, I don't get it. And then I was listening to it on the way home, and I was like, oh yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I mean like I don't know, I always got it. Like even from like the first times listening to it. It just like resonated to my core. It's just like finally it's over.
I mean, fucking, and I mean, lyrically, that song is very good. It's one of my, yeah, that's the ones I always remember.
I tried so hard. I mean, that's just, I don't think you can beat that.
You really can't.
Like, I just don't get that album's haters. I really don't.
I'll never understand it.
Like, even if some like contrarian dude is like, you just obviously haven't listened to enough music. I'm sorry. I think that's just one
I mean,
of the
like,
greatest songs
if you want
ever
to
made.
not have fun and listen to, like, deconstructed club, like, bootlegs from the internet that were recorded on an iPhone.
Electroacoustic
Yeah.
industrial.
If you want to listen to that shit and that with its like 50 views and
I'm
you
a
want to hate
poptimist.
yourself.
Shouts out Simon.
Dude, I shouted out Simon in the 1 hour, in my solo 1 hour.
Shouts out Simon.
Shouts out Pop Monster.
Shouts out Pop Monster.
And 2012 Records.
2012 Records is probably going to be, for all of the people I came up with, that will be like the last vestige of like true unity in that stuff. I feel like
yeah, I'd like
it will keep people like Saki and like Cheembad and like all like the murder fuckers people, like who are cool and talented and interesting, like had interesting ideas. They're all like kept together. Cause
Simon has done a fucking phenomenal job running it too.
Yeah, he's kept.
I don't know how he does it
for all this time.
I mean, fucking Crackdown Records was like us and then my band, and I was like, I'm freaking out.
It's over.
But he's just like, oh, I've got like dozens of people now at this point.
You just
in different places of the world.
You harness the compilation album and it all comes true. But
yeah, shouts out Simon. He posted a CST song that was very good the other day.
You remember what it was called?
Something like Kill Your Teacher or something.
Oh yeah, that one is very good.
That was, because I'm not like, I appreciate how weird CST is, and I appreciate him being himself, and not really giving a shit.
Yeah, at all.
But I'm not really one for like, I haven't listened to his like first album, the one me and you heard when we had first started talking to him. But I remember that being
mixtape.
No, it was before that.
Oh, like his very first compilation,
yeah.
like when he
like,
hit me up on like Rate Your Music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember hearing that and being like, this is fucking nutty.
I know.
Cool.
I'm really sad that's just gonna be like forever deleted, because some of those songs were super cool.
And I remember the Halloween mix having an amazing album cover.
Yeah. I think all of his visual art is really cool.
But I mean, like I was saying, I'm not really one for his newer things that are just so bizarre that I can't wrap my head around what's happening.
Yeah, I think well, with his early stuff, I think we still had like some kind of like echelon of cool that we wanted to reach. Like in 2019, like we all thought like Jewel Set and Hex Mafia and like B&B were the coolest music ever. So like we would listen to that and we would be like, we have to go hard, we have to like make hard beats and rap. And then like kind of like as that faded away and like the dream of that being some kind of attainable goal fled, I think like most of us just became super embarrassed of what we had made in that time. And like that's when like I feel like the Moms Only stuff started coming into play, and like it just got like way more like just give even less of a shit, and just like reference YouTube, like reference whatever you can just because, and then like it was just like a giant stylistic change pretty much,
which is pretty cool.
I agree. Like I think leaving behind like even subconsciously having some kind of aesthetic that you're driving towards, or some kind of like group of people that you want to like coexist in and cite inspiration from, like that's just like it's a lot more harm than good. Like you really are sacrificing so much of yourself, even at like the slightest expense of like
I mean you can I think, like, as cliche as it is important to not to like pull from people that you're inspired by, but don't like wear it on your sleeve, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the funny thing about like, here's kind of another funny realization is like I sound so stern in a lot of that, but at the same time, like when I would go back and listen to the early Murderfucker stuff, it's definitely way more detached than I gave it credit for. Like, even if it's still like coming from a similar place, and like it's as if like the people who could understand it the least tried to make music emulating it. And I think that's what's so cool about it, is it's like you can hear what idea was trying to be grabbed from, but like it's like it's run through a corrupt computer and it just spouts out a file that's nothing like what it's trying to pull inspiration from.
It's like our first song.
Pretty much.
No, but I don't even think you could tell we were trying to be organ tapes.
No, exactly. Like that. Like, I think that's why I used to have like almost a nostalgia for the early Spirit Girl stuff, because like it wasn't about what it was, but like what it wanted to be, and like how dissonant that is from the reality that we accidentally constructed with it. Like our set of inspirations were so vast, but like what ultimately
that's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
People need, like, not that it would have been easy, but I mean, definitely, like, me and you, like, getting together, we very could have easily just been like, how do 100 Gex make their songs sound?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? But I mean, like, it's just not, it's not that it's not healthy. Like, if you want to do that, if you want to make that music, that's fine, go for it. Like, I'm not gonna stop you. That's great, you like doing it. But I mean, like, as someone who like wants, or if you want to like create things, I think you should have like an inherent like want to push some kind of boundary, and like being yourself is gonna like push that boundary, because even if it isn't even if it isn't direct like through you, like if you're just being yourself but you're pulling from these different things, there's gonna be an inherently like different sound, and thus you're gonna inspire other people to do the same thing. It's like a huge chain, and like people like 100 Gex are like there obviously because of like hundreds of people like inspiring them and everything, and they took it and started doing their own thing. Like I mean, especially with 100 Gex, like, and I guess it doesn't, like, the whole point of them is to kind of wear it on the sleeve and just be like, this is what we like, so we're gonna make this music. But even then, they have their own, like,
exactly, like you have to keep your artistic integrity but not be too self-serious. It's a I'm not even gonna lie, this is an insanely hard balancing game, but if you actually want to not regret what you create, and you don't want to regret like some kind
and you
of
still probably will,
like, yeah, I mean, that's gonna be inevitable, but like I think the easiest way to damage control is to just let like your natural communication through, like when you're just creating things, because like I became a lot happier when I can just like go back to old songs and like I actually get where I was, and like I actually feel a sense of progression and growth, because like it's almost like treating it like a diary is really the best thing that you can do. Like, you have to give yourself all of the credit you can. You have to let everything flow through you, because if you don't, then like you'll just despise it, and you'll just I mean, it just won't bring you anything. I think like you'll be too prone to being like, I'm gonna quit this shit, and like, oh, it's not doing anything for me, because like when you create with that first, like in your brain, you have an expectation that probably isn't gonna be met.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, honestly, this fucking is turning into like a self-help like thing, but I mean, if you are making things, I think it's a very good.
And no matter what you do, like as long as you're creating things, that's good.
Yeah.
There is no like net negative, even if like you feel like, oh, well.
No, yeah, I'm not saying like anything is bad.
Create everything you can, seriously.
Like anything you want, and I mean, I'm not trying to be like. I don't know if I'm coming off as like fucking a dick, being like, you gotta like be yourself, like don't show anything, like you gotta do something like completely original. But like, I think I'm just trying to say it's important to like know where you're coming from and know what you want to do, but also be yourself.
Yeah, just don't chain yourself to anything. Just like be like, okay, I'm going to make music and do it.
Yeah.
Like, or be like, okay, I'm going to make an album and do it. And if you have any like ideas in your head on how to do it, then do it. But like once the idea turns into some kind of like metaphysical thing and like some parasocial thing, I just think that's when it all goes like haywire.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think that there's a lot of popular people who can do both at the same time, but at the same time, there is, I don't really think that there's a way to grow, like if you like I still think that you will find a hindrance and like kind of a gap, if you will, like once you do embrace like full creativity and control over your works, but like at the expense of realizing that shit just doesn't really matter, you know. I feel like everyone like starts and then they get traction, and then it's either from there if they want to cultivate it or not.
Yeah, like especially with like that sentiment, like the Oz Quinn person.
Yeah.
Is like the first thing that came to mind, because they had like a couple like pretty fucking big songs. And from what I could tell, they did not like the amount of traction they got. Or like, I don't know if it like the amount of whatever. But and then they were just like, I don't want to make this like gay hyper pop anymore. I'm gonna make weird industrial stuff, which honestly respect. I don't. It's not really my thing.
No, me neither.
But I'm fucking. That's sick. I'm glad that's what they wanted to do, and like nothing stopped them from doing it. Like that's what I mean. Like
yeah, exactly.
Like do what you want to do. Like, make what you want to make.
Even if that comes to making something that maybe at one point you don't want to make, just make it anyways.
Yeah.
And, like, even if you don't follow our rules and you don't want to be yourself, still make it anyways.
Yeah.
Because it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, if you want to, like...
If you want to be the greatest Blade clone, please, by all means, be the greatest
honestly,
Blade clone.
You might do better.
There's like a huge market. Like, hey, I get it, but like for me personally, like I was not happy with creation until I just was like, you know what, whatever. There's never just like, I was literally on the phone with somebody, and they're like, the only way that like Spirit Girls will ever make like an impactful comeback for the people watching out is for you to make 1313. And I was like, yeah, and like neither of us want to do that literally whatsoever. That's probably the last thing that we would ever want to do in our lives. In a metaphorical sense, of course. But I
Oh
was just
yeah, like
that, and it's very true. Like, I really don't think that anyone would. I really don't think that making like a drumless album and putting it out under that brand would.
I mean, no one would care.
Yeah, it would literally just.
No one would give a fuck.
Like, as little people cared for Brimstone, you know. It's just
I think
like, what would.
I think it would be, if we did that idea, I think it would be our favorite thing, and people would listen to it.
It
and
would generate
be like,
antimatter.
People would be like, "How the fuck is this worse than franchise?"
Yeah,
but
seriously.
it would be like 1,000 times better to us.
Exactly. It would be having like basically the process now is having to make franchise comp 2 for the next generation.
That honestly, like, if we pulled off the, like, I guess plunder phonics.
Yeah,
like,
just
if we pulled that off, that would be my favorite thing.
oh, me too. And I really want that's like cuz like
and I think we could do it.
I've been like dedicating my time a lot more to like projects now. Like I'm making a Army of Cats album with Simon, and it's all gonna be like bop songs.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna have the whole bop album about being in the Army of Cats.
Okay.
And so yeah, I don't know. We've just been slowly working towards it, like single by single. It's becoming a lot easier to like work with people now and like be comfortable.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it the other day because I normally slack hard on like doing like features, or like if people ask for beats, I normally slack hard on that, and I'm trying to get better at it. Like the other day I was just like, okay, I was like, I'm gonna like strap down and do this, like this feature,
exactly,
like for next day, just like do my best and like send it through so it's like timely. Like I really hate not being timely. Like that's something that's like honestly like getting to me a lot more.
Yeah, me too.
Like but I was like with doing that, I was thinking, I was like, you know, I could probably, because it's very hard, like even doing that album with Saki, it was like hard because like like the scheduling was like so inconsistent. So like I would send beats and then I would like sometimes get verses back the next day, and like sometimes like get them back like a few days later, and then like same with me, like I would work on beats and like sometimes there would be like a week gap between like sending them or whatever. But I was thinking like if I were to treat like a project like that, let's just say with Simon or with you in real life, if I were to treat like some kind of album project like that with the same regimen as like say a band practice, I think there would be very good results.
Yes, very good yields.
Like a once a week, like we are meeting for this purpose on this day every week, and we are going to work on things for that allotted amount of time, whatever that may be.
You'll make a new classic doing that.
Yeah.
It really is just commitment.
It's just like it's like doing this show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I was just like, because I mean we had it, like we had like 4 or 5 episodes out, not including like a couple, I think like a movie review, and I mean we were sticking to it, we were sticking on it, and then like shit just hit the fan, and we didn't forget about it. I never forgot about it, but
it was just it had to be on the back burner for a minute.
Yeah, it really fucking
Things
did.
had to restabilize before it could be like, we can dedicate an hour every week.
Yeah, and it's not hard. We have, especially now, the space is so nice now.
I know, exactly. There's a little on a chair next to me. There's a
Napping.
couch facing across from me. I'm on a recliner.
Yeah. They have a media console.
Lots of candles.
It's much like you can just like breathe and like sit down for an hour and just like talk, and it's therapeutic and nice, and it's not like
we're going to cram into this dingy bedroom and like it's going to take 2 hours to set this shit up.
Yeah. That was
Or like, oh, let's find a time where
Well,
my parents.
yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, you didn't see the room. You saw the room in like probably the worst like state for like the podcast.
I'm sure there were definitely. I mean, it was like. Plus, it was the very beginning too.
Yeah,
Those were like the earliest days.
because because we did the movie review and the podcast in the same day, I think, and you saw it as like, I think it was like desk on the wall and then bed next to the desk. I had it set up because I had bought this, so I had it set up. You would walk into my bedroom, and there was desk against the wall with the window, and then table behind that, and then the bed as a chair next to that, and then my chair in front of the table. So it was much, much nicer than when we first started, but I think it's at its height right now.
I agree. There's just a whole living room around us.
Yeah, and it's fairly comfortable atmosphere, I would say. I think it would be more comfortable if we were in maybe a quieter space with the refrigerator not running, but I mean, that's not too big of a problem.
No, I agree. It's not distracting.
How far in do you think we are?
Maybe like 43 minutes.
We're almost to 55 minutes.
Shoot.
So, I mean, we can just talk about fucking... What is there to talk about?
Stream Glad Game by Benny Revival on SoundCloud.
Yeah, I agree.
I think, I don't know. I'm going to plug Benny Revival because he's going to be like the thing I listen to now. But I think in terms of like LGBT music, I don't think you can get better. Like, I think the narrative at which his music has provided him to be a platform to is very interesting, and I still don't. I'm glad it's so obscured to the point where like there's just no sense in even trying to understand.
Yeah.
It's just like religious samples. Like you can't tell if he's actually. I know, yeah, he is very serious. He's like dead serious, but at the same time, it's like, how conflicted is he about all of this? And I think that's what makes his music so amazing. Wow, the fridge just shut off.
Very nice. It's a lot better now.
Yes, yes. A weight off my chest.
But, trying to think.
Stream Peaking Lights 936. Wonderful album.
Peaking Lights. What is that? Is that an ambient album?
It's like one of those really early like hypnagogic pop albums.
Is that on Yogesh Sharma? No?
No, it was just like...
I'll have to check that out then. Is it on streaming? Do you know?
Yeah, I used to listen to it all the time.
Oh. Yeah, I'll check that out. Fucking, I can't believe I missed that era where Untitled was on streaming.
Yeah, all the Hype Williams stuff, they used to have like well, maybe not all of it, but like a good chunk of it. Like a lot of random EPs used to be up. Like I don't even think Starts Getting Real is on.
No, it's not anymore.
Yeah, yeah. And
Which
that
is a
sucks.
shame.
Like those albums are still some of my favorite music I've ever heard.
I think Untitled might be one of like my favorite albums ever. That is such a good album.
I don't know what they did.
I don't really know either, but Hype Williams is just the cool. Hype Williams is literally the coolest music
Ever made. Can't be touched.
I don't think it
anything.
will ever be touched. Like the what was that album with the Attitude Era?
Yeah, that one's really good.
Untitled, fucking Find Out What Happens.
I think One Nation is really good too. Like One Nation is like their pop album, I would say.
I've never listened to One Nation.
It's basically like their most rhythmic. It's like the most songs that they ever
okay.
made.
I'll listen to that.
It's like it's like way more of like a beat tape, I would say, than like the
Okay.
other ones. And like a lot of the EPs are really good. Like they blur the lines between this like weird.
I mean, I just assume that anything they make is very good.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you can really just pick from whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a bad Hype Williams project.
I've been listening to Echo Jams a lot.
Is
as
it
well.
good? Does it hold up?
Yeah, I actually would say it holds up. Like the more time passes, the more it does just sound like a OPN album. It doesn't even sound like a joke album. It's just like, oh, that definitely sounds like a proper idea.
Yeah, I'll have
like,
to re-listen.
I'm not gonna say that it might. I mean, it could test your patience, but like I've just like after like hearing it for the first time as like a 14-year-old, and now I'm like 20. Like
Fucking crazy.
Which is very weird.
I mean, like, you just even saying, like, oh, in 2019, I'm like, fucking 2019.
Yeah, seriously.
Holy shit. 3 years ago.
Hard to believe.
That is just insane.
I think this is like around the time I got into RCB too.
Really?
Yeah, it was like February, March 2019.
Yeah, because I remember,
I would just loop Demons in Tokyo
Yeah.
and like the Cash Out Boys EP all the time. It was like the only thing I would ever listen to.
yeah, I guess it was, because I remember walking out of
Blood Rain Boys, the game.
listening to, you were just like, have you ever heard of Diamonds on My Dick? And I was like, no.
I wish I knew what music was then, because it's just like I really listened to this shit for like maybe 1,000 hours of my life, but like to me then it was just like whoa, because it was like it took all like the weird technicality out of something like Blade, and just like it just didn't take itself seriously at all, so it just made me feel good to listen to.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, these guys are just like in auto-tune over these very weird beats that are mixed bad.
And there's sound effects everywhere.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, this rules. Like, that was literally just what I thought as soon as I heard, oh yeah, juiced up pop punk.
Dude, I honestly, I remember, like, that's one of the songs that is kind of in the same, like, thing as 3922509.
Yeah,
Where when I
yeah.
first heard it, I was like, this is maybe just the worst music. Like, I remember 3922509, I was like, this is fucking terrible. And then I was just like, I just remembered, like, the music video, and I was like,
Wait a minute.
wait, I'm gonna go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this is kind of good.
Yeah, and then it's just like,
And then it's just
this
like,
is
oh,
the
it's my
greatest song
favorite
ever.
song ever. But I remember feeling that way, but about times 10 for, oh yeah, juiced up pop
Yeah,
punk
me
emo
too.
swag.
I would literally just loop that song.
No, I mean like when I first heard it, I was
just
like,
being
I don't understand.
What the fuck is this?
I was like,
I would just look at the album cover and listen to the song, and I was like, am I just like an alien or something? But like, no, that was a song where immediately I first heard it and I was like, oh, this is the greatest song ever made. I don't know what. I think it was just like,
that was in the RCB like era is a very weird era.
it is.
It's very weird.
It, like already on the chronological timeline of like being after Black Cray. And like how weird Black Cray was already, like with a lot of his early music.
Yeah, I'm surprised Black Cray was like as popular as he
Yeah.
was with how fucking weird some of his music is.
Seriously. So like you already had like people like Space Ghost Perp and Black Cray existing, and then you had their offshoots which goes back into like the micro sound thing where it's like music is just gonna keep like generating
disintegrating
weirdness. Pretty much. Like so like you have the disintegration of Black Cray and Space Ghost Perp into like a merger of RCB, which was like all of this other like low key stuff.
Yeah, I mean like just talking about that, like music, there's like I feel like there's like the underground shit like that is just gonna continue, like that's gonna be like disintegration, and then like all of the like stuff that's like bordering on like breaking the barrier between like underground, like it's in that gray area, like that's only gonna get like more like ethereal and like complex and like like dense, and there's just gonna be they're just gonna go in two different directions, because like when I think of like stuff like breaking like the barrier between like mainstream and like underground or whatever, like people like Sophie, like, and like her offshoots, I don't see any of those people like stripping back that sound. I can only see that like idea being, or like growing, and like people making like bigger music with it. But then things like Space Ghost Perp and like Black Cray and stuff that is still like relatively underground, which they kind of are, both of them have kind of broken that barrier, I think.
I mean they'll always have people who like their music.
Yeah, but especially like their offshoots are gonna just, because we're to the point where it's like the offshoots of their offshoots.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and the offshoots of those offshoots. Like, like, I would always think about this when I would be like going mental. Like, I guess I'll categorize being 19 as being this way. So I'd be trying to understand. I was like, why does it just keep getting more meta like rapidly? Then I'm just like, oh, so like the tools to make things is so easy now. Like you can make a song whenever you want, and you can like get the inspiration to make a weird song wherever you want. Like you literally,
it's crazy that you really don't have to learn how to use anything to make music.
Yeah,
at this point.
exactly. And so it's just like a 12-year-old can just go onto a computer and make whatever they want. And like however intelligent or like however talented they are, it's just like you'll have a lot of like innovators who don't even know how to formalize a proper thought yet. And like it just keeps getting easier.
Crazy.
there'll be like iPad FL Studio, and then
I mean, they have that.
yeah, the parents will have their kids in headphones, and there will be like a 6-year-old making a beat.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably already happening.
Yeah,
but
exactly. I mean, you already have people kind of like conning their children into doing shit anyways, but like,
dude, yeah, I saw at work the other day, I saw this like little kid, and he was wearing like he was dressed like a hipster,
yeah,
and he was like 8. I was like, how?
yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is going? Like, his fucking dad dressed him like that. He
Yeah,
did not choose
exactly.
that fucking snapback and those glasses and that fucking weird ass patched up like jacket.
Yeah.
I was just like, I know that kid's dad.
Maybe
or
the
mom.
swag is evolving before our very eyes.
I don't fucking know, but it was very odd.
Oh, the world is so lovely.
And I think that will do it.
Goodbye,
Goodbye,
SCHMOOSIC.
everyone.
Signing off.
SCHMOOSIC.pod on Instagram. Happy Pulling Teeth on Instagram. That's me. Do you want to plug any of your accounts?
I am on Instagram and SoundCloud as Scythinus. I have a Bandcamp that I haven't updated since I created it in September, at which only 2 of my albums are available in an EP, and they're all months older than when I even made the Bandcamp. If you want to listen to 2 albums and 1 EP of archived work, and Simon at Pop Monster with a 3 for the E uploads my music under Count Up 1000 on DistroKid.
Oh, yeah,
and
and
makes very fire music
I
as
think,
well.
yeah, he does.
Runs the 2012 records SoundCloud page, which has most of our collaborators compiled on it.
And
Shouts out to all those guys.
I think my music will be on there soon. He said he just has to get some of the funds. Or he said he hasn't had the time to upload them, but
And Lord knows DistroKid is not not a patient
no, it is not. But
website.
it's a lot better than the I had like some free like thing that I was using to
where
upload.
it's just like get your things on there for free.
Yeah, it was like, okay, put it up for free, but it takes like 2 months to like
Yeah.
get them up.
No, thank you. I'd rather have it up there in like 2 days.
You can probably find 2 of my I can't fucking fucking 2 the first 2 like EPs that I made are on streaming, and I completely forgot. Something Genuine is on streaming.
Yeah, under that name too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think I literally just blocked it out of my mind.
That was the original Bandcamp
Yeah, it was for our emo band.
with a draft that will never be full of any songs.
Yeah, it's just a picture of your dad.
Hell yeah. That's how you know it's that real emo shit.
That's true. It is a good emo cover. It is still a really good emo
I
album
knew
cover.
exactly what I wanted, but I just had no method of ever getting it.
Speaking, I mean, I know we're gonna end the episode, but my mom got like a bunch of her videos, like a bunch of her. My mom got a bunch of her mom's like home videos like converted to like digital files,
Oh, that's awesome.
because we had just like big like reels of them.
Bro, you gotta ask her how to do that, honestly, because I want to shoot like film for video or like on tape.
Or well, she doesn't know how to record with it.
Okay.
We just had them because they're so fucking old. And she was showing them to me. It's very odd watching them. They're very pretty.
Yeah. I
Like
could imagine.
the old like authentic like tape.
The grain.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff of like a taxidermy museum in there.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's pretty. There's some cool footage in there. But yeah, signing off. Goodbye.
Bye.
We'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll see Hayden next week. If we don't, then you're either gonna get another episode with me and Gavin, or you're gonna get another episode of me ranting to myself about lunch meat. Goodbye. Okay, it's fucking not shutting off. Fuck me. Okay. Okay, goodbye.